Hello, good evening, and welcome to Prime Business with me, Pius Kojo Baka. To our very first story, tax consultant Francis Timoboy has welcomed moves by the Minister of Finance, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, to visit the country's ports to stop financial leakages, but says that is not enough. His comment comes on the back of an announcement by the Finance Minister that he would be going to some of the country's ports to weed out corrupt activities. Speaking to Joy Business, Mr. Timoboy said although the decision is laudable, government must be proactive in revenue mobilization.
So first of all, his visit may not directly change things as we are seeing. I mean, the visit there will not necessarily let the people stop, the corruption. I believe that something more needs to be done. And hopefully the medium tax revenue strategy that has been put together by the ministry will, address some of the challenges. Look, people find ways to avoid paying the taxes because of some reason, and that's what we need to address. The taxes at the ports are there are too many. And so importers will always find ways out. And if they find ways out and they get the support of the officials, they will always find, pay some money more and then leave. You remember the Kumasi traders were embarking on a demonstration because anytime they are cutting their goods from Temaport to Kumasi, GRA continue to monitor and police them because of the fear of smuggling. So people smuggle, there's under declaration of, invoicing at the ports, and if they are able to get people who will be able to help them misclassify the items so that they pay lower taxes, they will do that. So I think that his visit is good, but more needs to be done. If you go there and the people do not engage in corruption, you come back to your office. They may go back to what they are doing originally if nothing is done. So I think that, yes, we encourage him to do that, but we expect more to be done to, prevent the corruption and the misclassification and then the evasion of taxes that we are seeing at the ports.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders have pledged their commitment to collaborate with the Finance Minister to address the bottlenecks hampering the collection of revenue at the ports. Stephen Ajochika is the president of the institute.
Freight forwarders know we cooperate with government to collect taxes, and every time when GIPC announces they not their target or even exceeded their target, I think they should even give us applause to us and recommend us for making sure of taking all those taxes on their part. We never recommended of So we are number one tax. We pay taxes to government, we collect on behalf of our clients and give to government. So when we come to all the bottlenecks we might come to see, I think he has to address them so that government can still be making money to run this economy.
All right, so you will cooperate with him, right?
Definitely. Announces that they've gotten their target or even exceeded their target. I think they should even give an applause to us and recommend us for making sure that we've taken all those taxes on behalf, but we are never recommended of being the main key people making sure that government or GRA has exceeded their taxes. So we are number one tax. We pay the taxes for government, we collect on behalf of our clients and give to government. So if it comes, all the bottlenecks we might come to see, I think he has to address them so that government can still be making money to run this economy.
All right, so you will cooperate with him, right?
Definitely, we definitely cooperate. We don't have anything we don't have any battle with him at all.
That's
and
fine.
It's a good point. It's a good time is coming so that you have time to listen to the issues in the port.
All right.
So that when he goes back to his table, there will be some few changes in whatever policies they want to bring up again.
Now, the Minister for Transport, Kweku Ofori-Isiama, says the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority is actively negotiating with Delta Airlines to change its planes which ply the Accra route. Now, there's been several complaints from Ghanaian travelers about the service offered by the airline, including allegations that their aeroplanes are rickety. Now, a Delta Airlines flight from Accra to New York had to make an emergency landing in Portugal recently. Now, the minister tells Parliament the emergency landing was due to an oxygen leak.
Flight number DL157, operated by Delta Airlines on Boeing 767-300, on Friday, 8th of September 2023, scheduled from Accra to New York, diverted to an island in Portugal due to an emergency occasioned by a crew oxygen leak in the flight deck emergency mask system. Mr. Speaker, the flight crew followed the recommended safety measures, which directed them to immediately divert to the closest suitable airport, which is Lajes, an island in Portugal, and landed there on 5:51 hours a.m. Mr. Speaker, Delta then dispatched an available aircraft to Lisbon that arrived at Lajes on 5:27 hours. The flight then departed Lajes at 17:20 hours and arrived at JFK, New York at 12:53 hours local time on September 9th, 2023. Mr. Speaker, prior to this incident, the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority had authorized Delta Airlines to operate to Ghana with two different types of long-range aircraft, the Boeing 767 and Airbus A350. Delta option to utilize the Boeing 767-300 on the Accra route was cautioned when their flight diverted back to Accra on August 1st, 2022, due to a technical problem, which was adjudged by GCAA as well occurring on that particular route. Mr. Speaker, fortunately for us, Delta changed that particular 767. The said aircraft, that the Boeing 737, was subsequently banned by GCAA from being used on Accra route.
Responding to concerns by MPs about the poor services rendered by the airline, the minister explained that there's active negotiations to get the airline to change some of its airplanes plying the route.
Delta Airlines has since introduced another Boeing 767-300. Mr. Speaker, following this, and in line with the industry procedure and practices, GCAA officially protested to Delta Airlines with a formal report on the 14th of July 2023. Subsequently, several meetings have been held with Delta Airlines, both in New York and in Accra, as established by ICAO Convention. These meetings between GCAA and Delta Airlines, Mr. Speaker, were aimed at comparing the airline to use the other type of aircraft approved by GCAA to replace the 767-300. Meanwhile, GCAA has stepped up its surveillance of airlines operations in Accra. Thank you, I can assure the honorable member that as we did with BA, by persuading them, nor by negotiating with them, by having a deeper discussion with them, for them to change their aircraft to A350, we are doing the same thing with Delta. And I have no doubt in my mind that they will yield to some of these discussions. And if it's that they need to change their aircraft, I'm sure they will bring a better one. Thank you very much, sir.
Away from the aviation industry, but a while longer in Parliament, the Ghana Investment Promotion Center has revealed that it has been recording a deficit in its operations for the last 2 years. The center is expected to attract investors for the country, but has in recent times struggled to bring in the needed revenue or investors due to the current economic condition. According to the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Yofi Grant, the center's sole reliance on internally generated fund makes it difficult to raise the needed revenue to support its operations. Mr. Grant said this when he appeared before the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament earlier today.
On a recurrent basis, we manage to take over our liabilities. But if you look at it in terms of the accounts itself, you see a deficit. Now, what happened in those 2 years is that deficit was funded by surpluses we had incurred over the previous years, when we were able to rake in quite a significant amount of IGF. Now, under the current market conditions, where investments have become very competitive And we have also instituted very strong fiscal rules in the country. It gets very difficult to derive the revenue to run the institution. So we have actually done a paper to Ministry of Finance with the help of the World Bank and other agencies who have supported us to change the funding structure of GIPC in accordance with global standards. And so the real solution is to look at how GIPC, as the state's investment promotion agency and the reception to the country, is financed. And I propose that it's an anomaly to fund it from IGF, because at IGF we're going to see decreases along the line. For this year, we will be able to cover our operations because we are expecting, we have certain receivables that take us, but it's becoming more like hand to mouth.
Now, the Ghana Union of Traders Association in the Ashanti region is demanding that political parties and their flag bearers outline actionable solutions to address challenges in the trade and agricultural sectors of the economy. Ashanti Regional Chair of the association, Anthony Upong, says the group is seeking a leader who would stabilize the CD dollar rate, limit food importation, and transform the agricultural sector for more local productions. He spoke during the launch of election headquarters by the multimedia group at the Swami Industrial Enclave.
Yeah, talking about the businesses, first we know most of our imports, most of our goods are imported from our side. So we want the stabilization of the dollar. The dollar must be stabilized so that we can make forecasts and programs as far as business is concerned. Because as it is now, you can't program anything. Today the dollar is 12.5, the next day is 13, the next day is 13.5. So it makes planning difficult as far as business is concerned. So we're expecting a stabilized dollar. And in doing so, we want the government to make sure that we reduce the imports to the barest minimum as far as most of the things like food importation is concerned. We have an arable land which can produce enough for us, but we've been so much lazy over the years as far as ideas are concerned concerning agriculture. So this time around, we want well-thought agricultural programs where land acquisition may be easy for anybody who wants to embark on commercial farming, so that we can farm in large quantities to produce enough for us than importing onions, tomatoes, kontomire, and everything from outside country. It's not helping us.
Ghana's mining sector has some challenges impeding its move to transition to actionable levels of operations. These challenges are part of setbacks that may not allow the country to meet its sustainable development goals by the targeted year 2030. I was speaking to Joy Business after a business CEO's breakfast meeting on the progress of the SDGs. Executive Director of the UN Global Compact Network in Ghana stressed that further support will be needed to help mining companies transition seamlessly. More in this report.
The mining sector is identified as a huge contributor to the economic growth of the country, as much skilled and unskilled labor is required for its operations. Although efforts are put in place to ensure that the sector commits to the sustainable development goals, it is facing challenges with some environmental, social, and governance practices. After addressing the CEO's breakfast meeting to assess the progress made on these goals before the 2030 deadline, Executive Director of the UN Global Compact Network Ghana, Tulu Lacroix, told Joy Business that issues of illegal mining are contributing to some of the challenges.
Certain sectors definitely have the challenges. Definitely, when we look at the mining sector, there are some challenges there, not specifically from mining companies that are operating legally and properly in Ghana. As you know, many of these companies are part of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, and they do have that framework to be doing responsible mining. But they have challenges with security. They have challenges with illegal minings. We have local mining concessions that are actually raided by criminal elements and are therefore causing these issues. And it's something that's really caught national headlines. So this is definitely a sector that has issues. Also, there are concerns about emissions, although if you actually look at the ESG reports, it shows that Ghana is actually doing very well when it comes to emissions. But obviously, it's come into the news.
Lacroix also expressed concerns over Ghana's inability to explore opportunities in the blue economy to boost growth.
But blue economy is so important. And I feel that is a resource that we have not tapped into fully. I think we've come together as a nation to have a very broad, open conversation on its importance. I think we recognize its importance, but we haven't seen much movement in that direction, and I think that's an area that we can explore more. And I think at Global Compact, we definitely have the resources for that.
The UN Global Compact Network used the opportunity to invite more corporate institutions to make commitments to the goals, since it would go a long way to save the planet.
You're still watching Prime Business. Now, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, says it expects that Ghanaian traders and other African nationals will be able to free move their goods and services within the economic zone, despite some political developments which threatens integration of the sub-region. Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger have announced their exit from ECOWAS with immediate effect, raising concerns by groups such as the Ghana Union of Traders Association that importation from these zones will be in jeopardy. Now, however, speaking in an exclusive interview with Blaise Soga on Connect Africa, president of the ECOWAS Commission, Omar Aliou Toure, says citizens of ECOWAS should not be denied the opportunities within the integrated region.
ECOWAS is beyond governments. ECOWAS is a community of people. The benefits of a community should be enjoyed by all our people. For us in ECOWAS, we feel we should continue to dialogue, and that dialogue is in the interest of our people. We cannot have a section of our people being denied the benefits of integration. That is important. Our people should continue to enjoy the free movement that they have gotten used to. They should be able to trade freely within the ECOWAS space. The provisions of the treaty provide that a country that notifies its intention to withdraw will have 1 year notice period. And this is what we are looking at. But we feel really it is in the interest of our people that we stay together. I cannot imagine really our communities being separated after so many years of being together. We should be able to move together with our community passports, with our community ID cards, with the capacity and the ability to settle and establish anywhere. This is a major achievement. Walk around or come to other areas in Africa and you would see that we have gone very far. Our people should continue to enjoy these benefits.
A group of bikers has launched a factory to build 200 e-bikes a month for domestic and international scale. Now, the WAHOO bikes will reduce pollution like emission of harmful gases in the atmosphere. The group is optimistic that the EV zone, if nurtured and incubated, will foster the right partnerships and deploy the right strategies to catalyze the electric mobility revolution in Africa. Team lead at WAHOO, Valerie Labi, says these bikes will enhance mobility in Ghana while ensuring a cleaner, safer environment.
Last but not least, a community that cares. So WAHOO actually means horse in Dagbani, and we started in the northern region of Ghana. But it can also mean WAHOO. And WAHOO is like, have you seen us, a new innovation on the road? But in East Africa, WAHOO also can mean a respected person. So as we see more and more delivery riders on our road, when you see a WAHOO rider, the way they behave is important because they are a respected person. We are building values in a community around being trustworthy. We are building values in a community around being resourceful and about caring passionately, not just for the environment, but around doing the right thing for Ghana. And so when you get a WAHOO bike, the bike comes with delivery jobs. The bike comes with insurance. The bike comes with safety gear. And we're creating a digital footprint for delivery riders to enable them and open them up to other financial services, driving resilience. So how can the Africa we desire be one? We need to build an ecosystem that is connected and ensuring we're distributing wealth to all levels of Ghanaians, providing economic freedom, social freedom, and environmental freedom. Can I get a WAHOO? And to conclude, we are now at an inflection point for growth, and launching this factory would enable us to build 200 bikes, electric bikes, here in Ghana per month for both domestic and international sale. Can I get a WAHOO? It is important for me to take this moment to soak it all in, because the one word that comes to mind is gratitude. Gratitude for each of you. You are our ecosystem of believers. We would not have got here without your support. We would not have got here without your encouragement. We would not have got here without your investment. We would not have got here without your love. And although we are still early in our journey, I am optimistic that not only will we continue to get traction and to grow, but this EV zone, if it is nurtured in the right way, we will foster the right partnerships globally and domestically and deploy the right strategies to catalyze an electric mobility revolution in Africa. Can you please repeat after me? We believe, let me hear you. We believe that the Africa our generation desires can be one. It exists. It is real. It is ours. And that's why we say WAHOO is charged with freedom. Thank you very much.
Finally, the World Bank has disclosed that 28 developing economies, including Ghana, with the weakest credit ratings, remain stuck in a debt trap with no hope of escape anytime soon. According to the Bretton Woods Institution, the average debt to the size of the economy was nearly 75% at the end of 2023, representing some 20 points greater than the typical developing economy. More in this report.
The 28 developing countries account for a quarter of all developing economies, with credit ratings and 16% of the global population. However, their collective economic activity constitutes a mere 5% of global output, which makes it easy for the rest of the world to ignore their predicament. Their debt crisis, as a result, is silent, and it could intensify. Ghana, which is one of these countries, remains in debt distress. Secondly, the debt sustainability analysis by the World Bank and International Monetary Fund shows that the debt is unsustainable. However, with the existence of the IMF program, there are expectations that Ghana's debt sustainability will change to become sustainable by 2026.
And that's all in this package by way of Prime Business. I am Pius Kojo Baka. For more stories, do log on to myjoyonline.com/business. I leave you with international business, after which Razak Musbao is next with Prime Sports. Do enjoy.